In this video, you're going to meet our friend called Rosalind. She's a very kind, caring and inspiring human being. She's also a mother and former athlete. That's coming up. Hey everyone, it's Corey and welcome to my channel. It's all about motivating and inspiring people to choose life through my own experiences, positive and negative. And if you're a new viewer, can you please consider subscribing? Let's get into it. Awesome, Rosalind, thank you so much for being here today. We just had an amazing lunch, some tacos. Like Becky cooked us some tacos.
She's an awesome cook.
Very, very nice. I had 4 tacos, folks, and it was super yummy. My wife Becky made them, and yeah, it was very nice to have you over here, you know, having lunch with us, doing some work with us for the channel. I really, really appreciate it, so thank you.
I really appreciate being asked.
Yeah.
It's a privilege.
No worries, thank you. So, Rosalind, I know a bit about yourself, but our viewers don't know anything about you. Would you like to just share a little bit about yourself? And
Sure, yeah. Well, I have Spina Bifida, which is a congenital defect, so something I was born with. I have a 20-year-old son, and my early life I was very much involved from the age of 7 in wheelchair sports, and that's been a big part of my life. Up until about the early 90s when my mum was terribly ill, and so that took a back seat, and since then I've just been focusing on family life and just learning a lot of new skills and motivational stuff, and which has led to, you know, us chatting with each other, meeting each other, as we were just talking about at lunch late last year, and forming a really solid friendship with yourself and Becky.
Nice. So tell us a little bit more about the Spina Bifida.
Spina Bifida?
Yeah.
Basically, it's a severing of the spinal cord, which occurs in utero.
Oh, wow.
So you're born with it, and it's varying degrees of it. There are a lot of people that actually, it's called Spina Bifida occulta, that are walking around, you wouldn't know, and sometimes they don't even know that they've got it.
Oh, really?
Until maybe they might have a bladder issue or some other issue. There are people like myself who are basically paralysed from the waist down. I get along.
So it is paralysis.
It is paralysis.
Yeah, obviously with the spine, and you're paralysed.
In varying degrees. I mean, some people are walking around just normally, and it just affects certain aspects, like, as I said, bladder or bowel.
Yeah.
Some people, they are, like myself, confined to a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So it's just varying degrees, but you are born with it, and it's what I call a stable condition, as opposed to some like muscular dystrophy and ones like that, which can deteriorate. I'm pretty stable.
Yeah.
As long as I look after myself, and you know, things can go wrong, like kidneys and stuff. So you just got to be careful.
You got to look after yourself.
And pressure areas, as you would know yourself, Corey. You know, those sort of things. You've just got to be a little bit more mindful. But when you're born with that sort of condition, checking things like pressure sores and stuff like that becomes commonplace, like brushing your teeth. You know. Yeah.
Pressure sores scare the absolute crap out of me. They scare me. I don't want one, and I'm paranoid, and I'm scared, and I'm just like, ugh. But so
prevention's better than cure.
So obviously, like you said, it's I guess is it formed while the baby's forming? It's in utero,
So you're born with it. You know,
so have you ever walked? Have you ever walked in your life?
Not unaided, but I have walked with the aid of sticks and calipers.
Okay.
The only thing that really stopped me was I had an operation when I was about 10 or 11, which didn't work.
Yeah.
And it just made walking a lot more painful. Plus, you know, I was getting older, so I was putting on a bit more weight. And also going into transitioning into high school, it just made it a lot easier. My life was always on the go because I was involved with wheelchair sports from the age of 7, learning basic skills. We can touch on that later.
Yeah.
So really from about the age of, say, around 12, I've been pretty much getting on 4 wheels instead of 2 legs.
Yeah, right. Do you miss walking? Do you think about walking? How does that work?
Not really, because I mean it would have been too slow and cumbersome anyway.
Yeah. So it's more convenient not to walk. It was more convenient to use a wheelchair.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
mean, there would be times where I guess it would be handy, like getting into small spaces and where I could just probably get up on my crutches and calipers and just walk, or maybe even get up a couple of stairs. As you know, some places just aren't accessible, which is annoying.
Yeah.
But things are slowly changing, which is good.
Yeah.
But so things like that, but I wouldn't say I miss. What's the point in really worrying about that? I just do what I can. I focus on what I've got rather than what I haven't. That's something my late mum, that was one of her mantras. Focus on what you've got.
Nice.
And not what you haven't.
Excellent advice for anyone.
Absolutely.
So what about now I'm curious, like in your teenage years, like starting high school, like as we become teenagers, we're getting older, we start getting a bit conscious about our body, what other people think. Did it affect your self-esteem? Like, did it affect you in any way like that? Like being in a chair, being at school, was there other people in a chair as well?
Well, no, I was actually the first.
Oh, wow. Well, congratulations.
Pioneer. In my primary school, I actually went out of the district because back in the day, before International Year of the Disabled, which was 1981, buildings didn't have to conform.
Yeah, right.
So, and the local primary schools weren't suitable to me, so I had to go out of the area. The high school. That
Far
was
from the area? Like from
about 20 minutes away, so I have Para Hills to Salisbury.
Yeah.
But, that was okay. The one thing I'll say about my schools, my mum, who brought me up on her own, fought incredibly hard just to keep me mainstreamed. She didn't want me to have special ed because my brain functioned all right. So a lot of those schools back in the day, it's not like you've got now with special ed classes. Those schools, you were put into institutions, and a lot of that was half lessons, half physio, and we saw a lot of the kids in my era go to those places, and they just seemed more sheltered. Having said that, there's a place, for those sort of people who need them, but Mum's attitude was always to keep me as, and I kind of hate the word now, but to keep me as normal as possible.
Yeah.
I was brought up never to feel sorry for myself, and to this day I hate people sympathising or feeling sorry for me. That's not what it's about. Yeah. Understanding is where it's at, not sympathy.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool. So, I know, like, you're an athlete. Right into wheelchair sports.
Former.
Yeah. Do you want to just touch on that a little bit more?
Well, like I said, it started basically when I was 7.
Okay. Just
learning basic wheelchair skills, which is essential for just day-to-day life, really. And then I kind of just progressed. And my coach at the time thought that I'd be really suited to wheelchair sprinting, which turned into serious stuff. I started competing seriously. Going
like locally, was there local competitions in South Australia?
Yeah, initially, but as the movement grew, things became more and more serious, and I became more and more serious about it. My coach thought I had a career in it, and I ended up, representing the state, representing Australia. Going overseas, I've been on 4 international trips.
Wow.
State Mandeville Games twice, which is second tier to the Olympics. I actually got Olympic selection. I was on the reserves list for one of the games, but unfortunately, no one dropped out. So fortunate for them, but
I guess you'd be sitting there like, I hope you don't drop out, but maybe.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? But my athletic career has afforded me so many opportunities. I mean, that's one of those things. It's a sliding door thing. It's no point saying, oh, poor me, I've got this disability. If I could walk, I would have been able to do this, that, and the other. If I hadn't have had my disability, would I have had these opportunities? No. Maybe other opportunities, but you get what you do with what you're given. You know, you make the best of the hands that are dealt to you, I think, as you know yourself.
And I remember you telling me when we first met, I'm not sure if you were training were you on a road, like you were doing some training in another country, or when did you get hit by the car?
Oh, that
obviously in your chair.
Back.
When did the car hit you in your chair, like on the like?
You have to ask the people who knew about it. I was out I don't even remember. This was way back in 1986.
Oh wow!
It's a bit of a long story. It's a paper trail there. We were coming. Fortunately, it didn't happen in Indonesia. That's one saving grace.
So it didn't happen in Indonesia?
No, it happened in Perth.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Well, try and cut a long story short. I've been competing in Indonesia. Then we had to get the flight from Indonesia back into Perth. And then we were going to the motel, freshen up and get the connecting flight later that day back home to Adelaide. So we got as far as Perth, but the flight was late. So the bus that was going to take us into the nearby motel had already gone. And it was about 5:15 in the morning. We were all tired and it was only up the road. So it was consensus, we'll just push there. Bad decision, as it turned out. We had to, I don't know if people know what the roadway was like there, but basically it was a dirt road. So we had to push on the road.
Dirt road?
It was a road, but gravel footpaths and everything. So we couldn't go on the footpath. So we went on the side of the road, pretty much single file. There was a group up in front, me, unfortunately, on my own, in the middle, and a group at the back. And this driver apparently must have been so stunned, seeing all these wheelies pushing down the road 5:15 in the morning. Remember, it was dusky, so not pitch black, but not full sunlight either. And from what I understand, like I said, the last memory I have is just pushing down the road. She must have gone around and...
Wow.
Instant wheelchair realignment, no kidding. The front left wheel aligned perfectly with the back right wheel. And that, in effect, even though it was because of my situation that I had the accident, it's a wheelchair that saved my life.
Wow. Because it took the impact? Is that what you mean?
It was, like I said, complete wheel alignment.
Then you went flying?
About 10 feet, apparently.
Whoa.
I still have legacy from that. I have now partial paralysis in my right arm, chunk out of my elbow, and my right eyeball doesn't dilate properly. But
yeah, right.
I'm a lot better than I was. I was lucky. My coach actually did my rehab for me. No kidding. When I first had the accident, if my arm dropped to the side, I would literally have to do that and pick it up. And
what caused that? Like a neck injury?
Yeah, because it got me in C4-5, I think.
Yeah, right. So you could have had a spinal, broken neck.
My coach, who was rehab at Hampstead Centre at the time, said I was lucky to be alive. In fact, it nearly killed me twice because it turned out I had a ruptured disc, which wasn't picked up. And it just took one training session, one day, and it must have just gone on me. I wasn't even going full tilt. And I was in agony for about 6 weeks, and it wasn't picked up on scans or anything eventually. And I couldn't breathe because of the compression. It was finally picked up and they had to do a bone wedge. And this was about 4 years after the initial accident. So it was just that one training session that did it. And again, that could have killed me.
Wow. That's wow. That's amazing. Like, did you ever speak to the driver of the car? Like, how was she?
No.
Because it's one thing to run over a person, but when you run over a person in a wheelchair, it's on a whole nother. It's like I'm going to hell today. Like,
I don't know if this is just one of those Chinese whispers or not, but I did hear from a teammate that she tried to, flee the scene.
Oh, really?
I don't know. No, all of this was done through the courts. So, and in fact, my mum dealt with most of it at the time because I had concussion issues for months after that. So it was
Wow.
a long, long road to recovery.
Yeah. Wow. Lucky you're still here.
I'm still here, still fighting.
Yeah, that's amazing. So obviously, like, you know, my YouTube channel, Roll with the Punches, is all about, you know, motivating and inspiring people. I was just wondering, Rosalind, what motivates and inspires you? Like what, motivates and inspires you?
Your YouTube channel started.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Free play. I guess I could put it into two categories.
Yeah.
Animate, i.e. being the people in my life.
Yeah.
I like to surround myself with positive people.
Nice.
And my son, obviously, he keeps me going, keeps me inspired, keeps me fighting. He's got his own challenges, so him as well. And then what I call the inanimate stuff, or the things that people bring into my life. Like, I have a lot of friends who are musicians.
Yeah.
Their music inspires me. Friends who are poets. My best friend in America, she's a wonderful poet. And just reading Sherry's stuff inspires me. You know, motivational speakers, you know, yourself, my friend Shirley. So those sort of things. And excellent literature. Like, my friend Gary Muller, he's a counsellor. He owns his own counselling business here in Adelaide. Blue Sky Thoughts. It's an excellent book. It's full of motivational points and how to live your best life. I'm constantly reading it and getting so much value and information out of it.
Yeah.
And also, it's something actually that Gary does talk about too, is doing a gratitude list.
Nice, yeah.
So I know you've also spoken about it on your channel, but for people who aren't familiar with it, it's just writing down usually about 3 things that you feel grateful for. And it doesn't have to be in a religious sense, just grateful to the universe, just grateful in general. And what I do, I try and do one in the morning, one at night if I can. Reason being, the one in the morning is to hopefully start my day off in a positive vein. Yeah. So I think 3 things, or it could be more. You know.
Do you write it down, or do you just think about it?
Depends on the situation where I am and what I'm doing at the time. Yeah, I have done, because it can lead to more validation. So it's up to how you want to do it, you know. So I do that. That starts to get me off on the right foot, or wheel in my case. Yeah. And the one at night is what I call my reflective validation list, gratitude list, where I reflect on the day. And look, it might have been a really crappy day, and I really can't draw on anything, or it might have been a day, just a non-eventful day. And that's okay too. I've got plan B for that. But yeah, if things have gone well, then I'll add them to my gratitude list. But the plan B, if nothing's gone right or remarkable, I draw on what I call my constants, which is my son. I'm grateful for having a wonderful son. I'm grateful for my relatively good health. You know, a few issues here and there, but nothing that's not manageable. And I've got great support structure around that. And grateful for my friends, you know. Nice. I've got so many amazing friends who support me, guide me, inspire me. So yeah, they're my constants.
Nice. That's good. Because I always talk about like obviously trying to be as positive as happy as much as you can. It's not always easy. No,
definitely
not. But you touched on it right there. It's about surrounding yourself with positive people. Like I talk about the law of association. Yeah. So you'll act like, dress like, talk like, even feel like the top 5 people you hang around the most. So if you hang around negative people,
it's going to
not inspiring people, you're going to be negative. You're going to be not inspired. Like, and not saying those people are bad. No. It's just a lot better for your own life if you hang around positive, good people. So that's awesome. Like, that's really cool. So Got another question here. So what was the best advice you ever received and who from?
There's probably a few, but I'd probably have to say my mum. She would say things like, there's no point feeling sorry for yourself. One that I really love, which kind of became her mantra, don't quit, don't give up, try again. I mean, I know that's a tried and true one, but that's something she would say. And one that's really dear to my heart is, don't focus so much on the things you can't do, focus on the things you can do.
Oh.
So that comes to having, like how you address in your videos, having that can-do attitude.
Yeah, nice. A lot of people that I've interviewed, when I ask them that question, because that's one of my favourite questions.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Yeah, and a lot of people say their mum. Like, a few of the people, most of them interviews have said their mum, like gave them their best advice and everything like that.
I was very lucky because, I mean, she was such a supportive mum, brought me up on her own. And
do you have any other siblings?
No. But she was very self-sacrificing, fought like crazy to, I kind of hate the word, but normalise me. Sent me to mainstream schools and didn't wrap me up in cotton wool, you know. She wanted me just to be an average kid. And she did so much for me in helping to encourage me in my sporting career. So I wouldn't have done any of that without her. You know, some people just get stuck in institutions somewhere, or that they just are left to exist. But Mum, you know, she fostered my growth.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm very lucky right from the get-go.
So years ago, like you said, like, what's that word? Institutionalised. No, what is it?
Well, being institutionalised, yeah.
So I know years ago with people with disabilities, that's what used to happen.
Yeah.
Like, even in the United States still, people with quadriplegia, they're in a home.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not to say all those places are bad.
No.
You know, some people do need that extra help, but Mum knew that there was a better alternative for me, so she fought for it. And, you know,
years ago they weren't that pleasant though, were they? Like,
no, they've come a long way.
Like, it was very clinical. And
yeah, well, from what we know about them, kids my age back then, it was half education, half physio, and just not the opportunities that you get in mainstream. Even special ed these days has improved a heck of a lot. No, because it's still needed. But and she was very, very self-sacrificing. So to this day, I'm very grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah. Nice. So, have you had 3 defining moments in your life? I always ask for 3. They can be positive or negative, but 3 defining moments and how they changed your life.
Oh, that one, I don't know how to look up. I think getting involved, I know the first day I turned up for the wheelchair sports thing when I was 7, that was the start of something big.
Nice.
Yeah. Because that was only basically at the back of the old Hampstead Centre. It was just on Sunday mornings or an hour or two every Sunday. Learning basic wheelchair skills, which is good, as you know, Chloe, for just everyday life. You know, being able to jump up gutters and this and that.
Navigate the streets.
You know what it's like.
Yep.
So I started with that, and that started my career in sport.
Nice.
So that's number 1. And I still look for 2 more, don't I?
I'm asking for 2 more, yeah.
Probably, I don't know if it was actually my first day in prep school, but it would have been one of them.
Prep school?
Oh, they call it reception now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, same thing. So
yeah.
I remember doing that and being lifted. The teacher actually lifted me up so I could water the plants. So
wow.
That was the start of me, I guess, feeling accepted and
yeah.
normalised. What else changed my life? Oh, so many things. Probably also, well, obviously first day of high school as well was really exciting, knowing that I've been accepted into this mainstream school. And that plus first day in year 9 too, because they turned the whole junior block upside down. They wanted to know whether I suppose this is really number 4 or 3.5. They turned the junior high block, upside down, literally upside down, the science room and everything. Once they knew that I still wanted to go to the school.
Wow.
And I mean, how wonderful is that? Just for one.
Like renovating it and...
Yeah, we just basically year 8s went upstairs. We sent them upstairs and...
Yeah, right.
You know, and came downstairs.
Wow.
All for one student. Just for little old me. So,
yeah,
I mean,
right. That's
that
pretty
was
cool.
Pretty touching.
Yeah, that's very nice. Like, yeah, I've had a few experiences like that, but one of the biggest ones for me is where I was flying back from Hawaii. So in Hawaii, our plane got delayed for 4 hours.
Oh.
Becky was going to El Salvador. I was flying home by myself. I was scared because I had to fly from Hawaii to Sydney, then jump on another plane to Adelaide by myself. I was like, oh. Anyway, the plane got delayed. So in Sydney, they held the plane from Sydney to Adelaide for an hour and a half just for me. Wow. And I was like, that is so nice, but at the same time I was like, but yeah, it's
VIP
pretty cool.
treatment.
VIP treatment, like that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool when someone goes that extra mile or kilometre as yeah.
So do you have any like hobbies? I know you love to socialise, go out for lunch with your friends, hang out with your friends. Obviously like reading as well. Mm-hmm. You love animals. Do you have any other interests or hobbies? Like, what's some other things that you like to do? Like?
Well, I'm sort of really so busy, doing these sort of things. I love engaging with like-minded people.
Yeah.
That's how we met. And I like to follow my interests with animal welfare and environmental issues. I'm pretty much an advocate for those sort of things, so that's a lot of doing stuff on computer.
Yeah.
So then I'm a sports tragic. I love sports.
What sports do you like?
It's probably cricket to the sides I don't like.
Oh, okay.
But,
Don't say footy. You're going to say footy?
What do you mean by footy? You talking
Aussie
about Aussie
rules?
Yeah, I like Aussie rules. Come on, the Crows.
No, I don't like footy. Yeah.
I like what is probably, my mother would say, it's actual proper football. So soccer for the uninitiated. Yeah, I love soccer. I'm a Man United fan, so yeah. Cricket, love cricket.
Okay.
Tennis, you name it.
So you watch it on TV or do you go to games and sport?
These days not so much. It's really hard getting out and about and rely on access cabs all the time.
Expensive.
And you run out of dockets quick smart. Believe me, I've been fighting for years and years to try and get more, but it's just not happening.
Yeah, right.
So it does happen.
How long do they last you for the year, like roughly?
Sometimes I run out before time.
Oh, wow.
Hasn't been so bad this time around because we've been a little bit hamstrung with how much we can go out, obviously, with the pandemic. But usually I run out before time because I've got to factor in hospital appointments. I mean, that's got to come first, hospital and doctor, medical appointments, and for my son,
Yeah.
So I don't get out and about as much as I would like, which I find is a little bit discriminatory, but that's a whole nother...
And it's important to get out and about, like, which people are experiencing right now. Like, if you can't get out and about, right, it's for your mental health.
Absolutely.
Like, for a lot of factors, it's good to get fresh air, get out and about, interact with other people, and it's just healthy for you. Like, wow. Do you reckon that'll ever change? Like, get some more vouchers, and it doesn't look like
it did change once years ago. We only had 60, and now we've got 80. But I mean, when you think about it, Corey, that's 40 round trips every 6 months, and if you have to factor in appointments, it doesn't leave much wiggle room for socialising.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, I find to be quite discriminatory, but will it change? It doesn't look like it in the foreseeable future, but it doesn't mean I'm going to stop fighting.
With the amount that I get out of the house, I'd use up 40 round trips in, a couple of months probably, like seriously, like doctor's appointments, socialising. I love getting out of the house. Like it's just... Yeah.
See, it's like, you're able to drive, whereas someone like me, because of my neck injury, I have to solely rely on access cabs. So,
right.
Have to do what you do.
That's a bit
and,
rough.
that's one of the negatives, but can't change anything at the moment. I just keep on fighting.
So how else do you like to, how do you keep, I'll get this question right. How do you keep positive and smiling? Like, what else do you do? You've touched on the fact that you hang around positive people.
Yeah.
You got positive friends, like-minded friends, people that encourage you, lift you up.
Yeah.
Obviously books, you had your mother. Like, what are some other things that you do that,
Again, focusing on that gratitude list.
Yeah.
Listening to positive music that really touches me.
Yeah.
Poetry that really touches me. Just things that I like, things that make me happy.
Yeah.
And just realising what I've got rather than what I don't have,
Yeah.
And that's not in the material sense necessarily. Some things, but more the things that I value, the qualities.
And how big a role does having a positive state of mind, I know, how big a role does that play in, like, going through life? How important do you think it is? Like, being positive, is it super important to go through?
It's very important because, that's how you just start off the whole process, I think. And I think it's like we were discussing off air before about the laws of attraction. And I've found in the last few years in particular that I've just attracted a lot of positive people into my life, which is really, really good. It's been great for me.
Yeah. So I know my wife asked you this question, but what do you think triggered that change? Like you said, I remember we were chatting, you're like, I just started attracting all these positive, like-minded, creative people into my life. What do you think triggered that change? Like, why do you think that started? Do you think maybe you changed, or do you think, what do you think maybe helped that?
Probably a combination of things, Corey. I think, maybe a little bit of luck, being in the right place at the right time. There's always a bit of luck somewhere, isn't there? I like to think maybe I've given some good vibes off somewhere along the line.
Yeah, cool.
I know that when you and I met, way back, as we were saying, it was just end of last year, and you were doing your collecting for bowel cancer, if I remember.
National Cancer Foundation.
Yeah, National Cancer. And you're on the phone to Becky.
Yeah.
And
I was working. I was working. I was supposed to be working. I wasn't on the phone, Rosalind. Gee.
Oh, it was important.
Oh, it was an important call. Emergency. That's right. I forgot.
And I thought, I'm just going to give the donation a go. But I know there was something. I had to talk to you. I had to engage. I thought I'd probably lead to nothing. I didn't really think anything of it. And here we are, having lunch. And then I met Becky after she came to pick you up. And again, we had that connection. And
Yeah, we had this big smile on your face. You were very easy to talk to. Like, I could just see you did give out very good energy, like just a positive energy, a big smile on your face, and just chatting. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And then we got chatting for ages. I was working. I was working at the same time.
It's PR, isn't it?
PR. And, and then, like I said, here we are now.
Yeah.
So, like, that's, really cool. So, what do you think that... the word like physically, I don't like using like disabled, physically able, but is there anything that you think that physically able-bodied people could learn from someone in a wheelchair? Like, is there something, I know this is a tricky question, put you on the spot, but is there something they can learn? There's something that we experience, we know that possibly they might not be aware of, like that they could use in everyday life. Like, do you think like...
There's probably a few things, Corey, but one that does come to mind is for the able-bods, as I call them, is to not be condescending or sympathetic, but just understanding.
Yeah.
And to realise that we're all just people, whether we're on 4 wheels, 2 legs, black, white, can hear, can't hear, need a seeing eye dog, don't, whatever, we're all people.
Yeah.
We all have wants, needs, feelings, desires. Yeah.
True. We're all human. That's it.
Some of us more so than others.
Yeah. True. So, yeah, like this, talk's been absolutely amazing. Like I really appreciate it. I've been looking forward to it for so long.
Same here.
But just with like the virus and everything, we haven't been able to like, but it's obviously the perfect time now. Like, and
the stars aligned.
I really, really appreciate it. So I'm going to give you put you on the spot and ask you a bit of a question right now. And that's just to wrap up our interview. But I'd really love for you to share with our viewers and the world, hopefully this goes worldwide, is what's your message for the world? So this is your opportunity to share something like positive and what's your message for the world?
Well, I guess it's just to try and be positive within yourself, surround yourself with like-minded people. If you have problems, issues, seek help, be it professional, just your friends, whatever. There's so much around at the moment, especially with the virus. People are having mental health issues, and unfortunately, it's not like a physical disability like we obviously have one. There are people around that have various mental health issues that you just can't see, and I think we just all need to be a little bit more tolerant and understanding of one another. We're all flesh and blood, so yeah.
Beautiful message. And as you were saying that, I remember seeing, I think it was your post on Facebook, you showed a person in a wheelchair, no? Is that right?
Oh, there's probably been several, but I can't think of the one that you're...
And talking about like mental health, like...
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for mental health issues, and getting that out of trying to get it destigmatised, if that's a word, you know. Because it is, a lot of people think, if you can't see it, it doesn't exist.
True.
And also, it's underfunded as well, which is really sad. So, I'm trying to get those messages out as well.
And like I said, like you can see we're in a wheelchair, you go, but there's a lot of people walking around that have mental health issues, you can't see it.
It doesn't make it any less valid.
No, you're right, absolutely. Yeah. So,
in fact, in some cases, it's harder to overcome, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you've got people's attitudes plus the ignorance of it. When I say the ignorance, the not knowing. As they say, knowledge is power. And also it being underfunded.
True. So this is probably a good time. Is Gary still a counsellor in Adelaide?
He certainly is.
Yeah? So plug away. Like we've had...
I was actually speaking to him online this morning to see if his book is still available. And, you can look him up on the website, Gary Muller, Blue Sky Counselling. But he did say I could give his number, 04131 58690. I highly recommend it. 130 pages. It's even people who don't like reading. I mean, I do, I'm a bookworm, but, look, I don't know if you can see it okay on there, but it's short paragraphs, easy layout, beautiful, and chock-a-block full of valuable information. As I said, it's my little blue Bible.
So you can get this book online? Like order it online?
The best thing to do, as I was speaking to Gary, he's just said to make inquiries through him.
Just give him a call.
Yeah, and or you can look him up online, whatever.
Look him up online. Gary...
Awesome book.
Muller?
Gary Muller.
Absolutely. And I know you've said a lot of good things about that book, and we appreciate that because
it's priceless.
This channel is all about, helping people get to a better place, and that book's helped you a lot.
That's exactly what it says on here,
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't necessarily have to have problems in your life or be suicidal, but it just helps you to be a better you and get more value, more positivity into your life.
That's awesome. Well, Rosalind, I really appreciate you coming here today, having lunch with us,
doing
the video, and Rosalind's going to be in another one of our videos too. I won't say too much about it, it'll be a secret. She's making a double appearance, so very excited about that. We really appreciate your time, your wisdom, your story. Yeah, I really appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Corey. I really appreciate, the fact that you saw value, in asking me. It's been great. I've really enjoyed it. And all proud of you and your awesome videos. They're great.
Cheers. So, folks, if you see value in what I do, please subscribe. If you want to pay it forward, please share. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. I've got lots more videos coming out soon. Thank you very much. See you later.
Bye.